Hey, it's Natasha Bazil with soldbynat.com, also natknowsre.com, Nat Knows Real Estate. And over here on this channel, we talk about all things real estate related. I wrote a book called The Ugly Side of Real Estate. But despite the title, I share a lot of encouragement, also tips, my journey, but it can be beautiful. And we talk about all that on this channel. Aspiring new and experienced agents. Real estate is not all glamorous like you see on TV and social media profiles. All right, why this video? As you know, I am a real estate agent. This, at the time of this recording, is my 13th year in real estate. I got licensed in 2011, went full-time in 2013, got my broker's license in 2019. So I've been in this business for a while, and having events is one of the ways that I like to connect with people. Today, I'm going to share with you some tips on how I go about planning an event, and I hope you find this information useful. And if you haven't done an event, this gets you excited about planning one. All right, number one, when you first think that you want to do an event, I would just get a sheet of paper or however you notate, brainstorm, jot down every idea. What are some of the type of events that you can have? What day do you want to have it? Just jot down everything that is coming to mind. And this is going to be the start of things, but you're going to tweak it as you go. So like with this trivia night, at one point I was like, okay, I'm going to get food catered. And then when I ended up checking on the cost for food, I was like, all right, let me check another option. I ended up getting food from Publix, which was like really good, almost like half the cost of what I would have spent. So, you'll just tweak as you go, but just brainstorm, get things out. Two, think about what is the purpose of your event. So my event, it was a client appreciation, and to stay connected, just to have a good time, to show clients that I still appreciate them even years after we've closed. And it was also meant to be a pop-in. So every year I do pop buys. I pop by my clients and I give them something, right? It's a blessing, but being my 13th year in the business, I have acquired a client list, and it is a lot to get to all these clients in their parts of town. Starting last year, I got help, and I have an admin that helps me, a client care coordinator, and she helps me with the deliveries, but it's still a lot. So this year I was like, it started off like, how can we do a pop-by, have them come to us to get the gift, and it kind of, in the brainstorming, it grew from there. So that's why you brainstorm. So for me, it was a pop-in, keeping in touch. Is it you? Are you trying to generate clients? And in that way, are you doing a seminar? Are you doing some kind of client event and asking them to bring somebody with them? It's just like, what is your purpose, and then what's your desired outcome? So is your desired outcome like, okay, from this I would like to get 2 new clients, from this I'd like to get 5 referrals? Just kind of have that in mind. Just know that you're not just doing it just to do it. Like, yes, you are doing it to do it, but at the end of the day, it's still business. So you are doing this for a purpose. Number 4, decide on the date and work backwards. I recommend giving yourself at least a month so you don't feel pressured, so that, especially if it's around a busy time or the holidays or anything like that, that you can give people a heads up so that they can actually make it there. You don't want to do it last minute. I wouldn't suggest doing it last minute. Next, on deciding on a date and working it backwards. If you know it's a busy time, or even if it's early in advance and you just know second quarter I'm doing this, you can send out a save the date. You could send it out by mail, email, and remember, it's about the touches. So you are staying present and in front of them. Send the invite and send reminders. So I did an actual electronic invitation. Also reached out to some, making sure that they got the invitation, because it'll show you who opened, who didn't. So I also reached out. I like the idea of sending an actual mail invitation as well, so I will try that in the future. And as the reminders went out, I got more responses. So be sure, that's why I say do it in advance, so that you can get those get those reminders out, have time to get the reminders out. Prepare for these two. You are going to have same day cancellations and you're going to have no shows. And I would love to tell you that it's going to be minimal, but I can't say that. For this last event, same day cancellations, I was actually surprised I didn't get more because it was like drizzly all day long. And it was a Friday. I'm like, some people probably just want to go home and just get in their bed and don't want to do anything. But I only gotten like two same day cancellations. But I had a lot of no shows, which I'm surprised about. But I'm like, you can't be surprised because you had a previous event and you were surprised then with the no shows. Like I had 66 people RSVP. And then I was like, okay, I'm planning for about 50. We had about 30 something show up. And granted, it was still a good turnout. I appreciate every single person that came out. It still looked like a full event. But just keep in mind, I had a lot of no-shows. And I'm just convinced at this point that people don't know event RSVP etiquette. I hope I have not been saying RSP all this time. RSVP etiquette. Because essentially when somebody RSVPs, if you don't know this, they are planning for you. They are taking you into account. Like had I known the people that RSVP were not going to show up, I could have saved on food. I bought more food than I needed. Printing costs, we printed things because we were playing games and stuff like that. So it would have been great. And you can go in there and un-RSVP. So I don't know why people don't do that. I just don't think that they know event etiquette. So going forward, I'm just going to plan that no shows are just going to be high on the list. It is going to happen. It would be great if it didn't, but it did. And I still am, I can't pick a side on this one because I'm like, if I err on the side that I'm going to have a lot of no shows and I get, for example, less food, I do not want to be that person that the people show up and I don't have food to give them. And I was talking to my husband about it and he was like, yeah, I just rather us have extra food and we give it away or we bring it home or something, because you never want to be that person that just did not have enough to accommodate everybody. So that's it on number 4. Number 5, budget. As you're brainstorming, kind of throw out some numbers, or you might say, listen, this is how much I got to work with and we're going to make this work. But kind of have an idea of budget in mind. Like it started with being a pop-in. So I knew I was doing end of the year client gift. So then I'm like, all right, if they're coming to me, I can't just say, okay, stop by, here's your gift and go home. I was like, it needs to be something and I need to feed them. I need to do something. So I know I needed food costs and stuff like that. And then there were miscellaneous costs from there. Like, okay, we need stuff for the games. We need, things like that. So just keep budget in mind. Under that, ask for sponsors. You are in business. You do business with different vendors. You give out referrals. I told one of my vendors, like, she didn't understand it. And I know English isn't her first language. And she ended up telling me like she didn't really understand what I was asking her at first, but I explained and she ended up coming through. But I am wholeheartedly like, business support is a two-way street. If I'm sending you business, either you're sending me business or you're supporting events, you're doing something. Like, this is a two-way street. And if you're the mindset like, no, just do it out of the kindness of your heart. Yeah, that gets old. Like, it's a two-way street. I'm gonna leave that there. It's a two-way street. So shout out to my sponsors that came through for my event. And then also when you're asking for sponsors, I had an email that went out, explained what the event was. I also sent them text messages, also sent them a reminder as well, just letting them know here's what the event's gonna be about, kind of like what's in it for them. So they're sponsoring first of all, they should just sponsor off of GP because I'm sending them business. But I also did want them to know, like, listen, you're gonna be mentioned in the advertising, all the promotion or social media, you're gonna be out in front of clients as well. So it's also an opportunity for them to get in front of clients as well. And like the two vendors that actually came in person, I allowed them to speak, introduce themselves, and they spoke about their businesses. And it was so cool because one, Patricia with Trinkets to Treasure, she does all my closing baskets, and she actually did the gift that I gave them. So it was cool that they could see like this gift that they got at closing. She was the one that actually created it for them. And then my home inspector, I'm like, who in here had your home inspection done by John Watson with Whole House Home Inspection? All these hands went up, right? Because we are business partners. We're doing this together. So I'm of the mindset like I eat, you eat. So you take care of me, I take care of you. We're doing good work. I want to see you win. You want to see me win. So we're in this together. So I take sponsors serious. Number 6, helpers. Do not try to do this all on your own. Don't have that superwoman, I can do everything. Because remember, outside of the event, you still have other clients you're serving. You still have work. You still have family. You still have all these other things. And also, while you're at the event, you don't be running like a chicken with your head cut off. Either you've done this or you know somebody that has done this. They hosted an event and all you saw them was doing this the whole time with the event, right? You also want to be there and enjoy the event. So in the brainstorming, I was like, okay, how do I want this event to look? So when they come in, I need to check them in. I need to what's the check-in situation? Like, how do I make sure that they got their gift? And I know they got their gift. So I had my daughter and her friend were at the check-in station. So they did that. And then Jeanette, shout out to Jeanette. She is my client care coordinator, and she is who I spoke about that helped me deliver the gifts last year, but she took care of the activities, the games. My husband also did a game as well. He found music and we said, name that song. So he was hands on deck. He did pictures and video. My mom was there overseeing like the food, putting the food down. Jeanette was helping. It was like really all hands on deck, but I had help. I had help. Thank goodness for the help I had. Plus, I had some clients that were there. I had a client that was there before. She was like, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, no, enjoy yourself. And then she ended up like decorating these chip boxes to make it look a part of the presentation. I had another client stay after, help with the cleanup. She was like, my husband's at work. I don't have anywhere to go. So yes, just make sure, just have help. Have help. Don't try to do this all on your own. Delegate, and then also check in. Like how Jeanette and we really were the ones that were planning, and also shout out to my VA because she was helping getting reminders out and things like that. But you also want to have check-ins, up until the event, like reminders are going out on this day. All right, you have this for the event. You have such, you want to check in along the way just to make sure everything is on schedule. And this is the last one. Number 7 is plan. I'm a planning person. I cannot just fly off the seat of my pants. I know an agent, shout out to Ebone, Ebony, she can do that. Like she can think of something and she can execute. That would stress me the heck out. That's not me. But I like planning. Just know thyself, and do what works for you. So I'm a planner. I have an actual timeline of events. I work out of Trello a lot. So I had, we planned it out in Trello. So when I was brainstorming, I'm just listing out all these tasks. All right, food, invites go out on this day, reminders go out on this day, order the gifts, end of the year gifts from Patricia. Even before that, I just had gifts. I didn't even know what I was going to give them. I started looking up other gifts. And then I was like, okay, I wonder if Patricia could do something for me. And then I checked in with her and she gave me some options and I went that way. So I just in that brainstorming one, just put out all of the components and things. And you're not going to think of everything. You're going to go in and add it. You're going to tweak it, like I said, but have the timeline of events. So, and I knew, okay, this needs to be done by this date. This needs to be done by this date. And it sounds like a lot, but for me, it's easier having a plan and then knowing I have time, knowing the date is then, and then working backwards. Okay, that helped a lot. That was another thing. And that came to me at the last second. I actually had books for sale. It's available on Amazon, but I also have some that were available in person. So I set up this little table. I know I have a picture in here. It wasn't even a table. It was already there. I just put the books there. I had that same agent I tell you about, Ebony. She gifted me with a picture in a frame that I have hanging in my office. I just moved that out, put that by the books, put a little sign that said $10, and I had 2 clients that bought books for me that night. And we took pictures, and those pictures are gonna go into my marketing plan schedule that I do for my book marketing. Yeah, I just got excited because I'm like, look how this one event is also giving me content for marketing my book. And then also now I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking of taking the clients that were there. I got pictures with them. I'm thinking of putting their picture with their closing picture and making that a whole post in itself. So there's things that you can do. So make sure you get those pictures and the videos from the events. And that also helps promote, to show people like what your events are like. So the next time you have an event, they're like, oh, I have to be in the building. I have to RSVP. I have to be there. I also have an event day plan. What's like, you get there, you have this help. All right, because everybody's gonna be like, well, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? And they're all pulling at you. So I had already wrote up an event day, like, here's a timeline so everybody knows. Here's who's helping and who's in charge of doing what. And here's all the things that need to be done before the event. And really, everybody just hopped in and just got it done. And thank God for it, because that day I had a headache all day long. My event was at 6:30. That headache didn't lift till like 6:15. So I'm so glad I did all this planning and preparation beforehand, so that, thank God, the people that I had that were helping me help, it just ran smoothly in the planning that I had done. And the last thing is going to be post-event plan. So the event is done, but now there's a follow-up from the event. So some of the things that we're going to do, there are people, I still have a lot of gifts to get out because I didn't have everybody show up, which we already knew everybody was going to show up. Now we have to make the plan. Okay, for the people that didn't come, now we're dropping out off their gifts. We are just following up, doing the social media posts, thanking the sponsors, doing a reel. Yeah, it's just, I just have a list. Accounting, just making sure my accounting is done for, I just know, okay, for this event I spent X, Y, Z, just doing that documentation. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like all the things that are on the post scheduling. But those are some things, but just having after the event plan. The fortune is in the follow-up. And remember that ties into what was your desired outcome. So if your desired outcome was to get new business and you had a seminar, your post-event plan would be to follow up with all of the attendees and maybe schedule consultations with all of them, maybe get them connected with the lender. So there needs to be some follow-up. This video was longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hope you got some gems from it. I hope you get encouraged and motivated to have an event, to gather. You can even do a virtual event. You can do a virtual happy hour. I could have even done a trivia happy hour. But yes, think outside of the box. Just think outside of the box. But just brainstorm. That brainstorm, when you brainstorm and you get everything out, I feel like it's like God's like, you don't have to know the whole plan. I know, but I just need you to take a step. I feel like brainstorming is that step. And once you take that step, then the new ideas come to you. And then, you take another step and then another idea comes to you. So start there with the brainstorming. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you got something from it, you learned something, please share it with somebody else. Please help me continue to grow this channel. Also check out natknowsre.com. Go ahead and take the quick quiz. Just answer a couple of questions and it will give you 3 steps that you can take to help you reach your goal. So take that quick quiz. Check out the Facebook group if you are not already connected. Again, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It is free and it helps me. If you want to show out even more, drop me a comment. Like, surprise me. Leave me a comment, share, check out the podcast, cop the book, The Ugly Side of Real Estate. I'm really signing out here. Have a positive, peaceful, and productive day.